Hello everyone, I am Gurudat. This is the third video of professional ethics. In this video we will be covering unit 3 which deals with the ethics of legal profession. So first starting the lecture, you must understand what is the meaning of ethics, what is the meaning of professional ethics and why we should study it or follow it. Ethics denotes the human behavior to make decisions between what is correct and what is wrong. Professional ethics are those set of code or moral principles that govern a person's conduct in a professional workplace or work life. In the legal profession, a lawyer must obey professional codes for fair dealing with the client and uphold the self possession. So basically, every profession, whether somebody is a chartered accountant, whether somebody is doctor or a sports person, everyone has their own set of ethics in the profession, which they must follow for the benefit of their own personal growth as well as for maintaining the dignity of that profession. Similarly, you will see that doctors also follow professional ethics. Those professional ethics are framed by MCI, Medical Council of India. In case of law, these professional ethics are framed by BCI, that is Bar Council of India. In India, the ethics of legal profession is regulated by the Bar Council of India, a statutory body established under Section 4 of Advocates Act 1961. So you must remember the Section 4 of Advocates Act. As per Section 7 1B, the council has to lay down standards of professional conduct and etiquette for advocates. Section 49 1C allows the BCI to make rules as to suggest the standard of professional conduct to be observed by the advocates. Now, advocates BCI is established by Section 4 of Advocates Act, and under Section 49 1C, BCI has to make rules and standard of professional conduct to be observed by the advocates. Bar Council of India has framed the rules under Part 6 of Chapter 2 dealing with the standard of professional conduct of lawyers. This chapter states 39 rules. Remember it. This chapter indicates 39 rules or duties of the lawyer against court, client, and opponent. Now, uh, of these 39 duties, broadly we can divide these 39 duties into three parts: duties toward court, duties towards client, and duties toward the opponent. Opponent means the opposite lawyer. So first you'll be studying lawyer's duty towards court. To maintain a respectful attitude and dignity towards courts, first I've just mentioned all the main rules which you must remember. These are not very specific rules and just have a broad reading of all the rules. In this video, we'll be just reading out the broad headings of the rules so that you remember in exam. Because one question will come from this section in exam, and it may generally ask that what is the lawyer's duty towards court, what is the lawyer's duty towards client, or maybe what is the lawyer's duty towards opponent. So just read out all these basic duties which are given under BCI rules of standard of professional conduct. Just remember these rules. So I'm just reading out these rules. There's not much to explain in this. These are quite simple and given in simple English. Not to impact the decision of the court by unlawful or inappropriate means. Third, use his best effort to avoid his client from unfair practice. So the lawyer also does not should not use any unfair practice, and he should also make sure that his client is also not using any unfair practice. To appear in court in prescribed dress and a presentable manner. To wear bands and gown in courts only and or ceremonial occasions and not in public places. So you can't wear your band and gown on in public places. Not to plead in any matter in which he himself is interested. A lawyer should never take the case or plead in a case in which he is himself interested. For example, there's a piece of land uh, over which a dispute has arisen, and there are two parties which reach the court to solve the dispute. If lawyer is also somehow interested in that particular piece of land, then he must not represent that any of the parties. If he is a member of any executive committee of organization or corporation, then he cannot appear in or before any court or any other authority or represent the case of that organization. For example, there is one more example. If a lawyer is a witness in a particular event, for example, a criminal event take place, somebody A murders B, and if lawyer is also a witness to that event, then he cannot plead any of the parties. He should be restraining himself from representing any of the parties in case he is also a witness or interested in that case. Lawyer's duty towards client. Once accepted, then cannot withdraw from actions or engagement without appropriate cause. So once a lawyer is accepting a case, he should make sure that he represents his client to the best of his knowledge, and he should not withdraw from the case unless very appropriate cause has arisen. Second, should not accept or appear in a case in which he has reason to believe that he will be a witness. As I have already told you, if the lawyer think that he can be witness to that particular case, he should not take that case. To make full disclosure against his connection with the parties or interested before the commencement of engagements or during the process. To support the interest of client by all moral means. Not to overpower any material or evidence which shall prove the innocence of the accused. Not to reveal the communication or talk made by his client to him. So there's a privilege of communication between a lawyer and a client. So if a client is telling something to a lawyer, the lawyer must make sure that he is not disclosing those facts, those events to anybody else. It should be a privileged communication. A lawyer should not, for example, a client reaches a lawyer and he tells him something which may result in his conviction in a particular criminal case. Now it is lawyer's responsibility that he should not disclose those particular facts to police or to court or to anyone. He may, if he's representing that client, or even if he's not representing that client, if the client has told him something in relation to that case, a lawyer should always keep those facts to himself only. It is called privileged communication between client and his lawyer. Not to charge for his services depending upon the success of the matter taken. This is a very important thing, that often you will see that lawyers generally, if you go in a district court, lawyers generally charge that sir matter हो जाएगा 10,000 रुपये लगेगा, some sort of like this. But it is completely against the professional ethics of a lawyer. Lawyer should not charge on the basis of what judgment might come in a case, whether it will be a successful case or it will be a failed case or whatever. He should only charge for his professional duties. Does not adjust fee payable to him by his client against his liability to the client. To keep proper accounts of money received, and all these accounts should also be maintained very properly. It is also very important duty of a lawyer. 10th, if he has advised the party in matter with the institution of suits, then he cannot appear for the opposite party for the same matter. For example, you are a government advocate against a party who has been charged of a murder. Now, during the case, you have decided to leave your government job. So now you cannot take the case of a opposite party. It is your moral as well as professional duty that you should not appear in any matter in which you have already appeared for opposite party. So you should restrain yourself from appearing for both the parties. You should only appear for one party. And often you have to understand that often in criminal cases or in civil cases, years take before a judgment comes. Years, maybe 10 years, 12 years. So There are cases, they have the cases have been decided by Supreme Court also, in which a public prosecutor was the first had appeared for the government in any criminal case. For example, a robbery took place and a public prosecutor represented government in the court of law. After 5 years maybe he left his job. Now he started private practice, and when he started private practice, maybe the court, that particular case, had reached high court. Now in the private practice, the public prosecutor who had represented the government now changed his side after leaving the job and started representing the accused in high court. Now this will be the violation of his professional duty. He should make sure that even once if he has appeared for in the case for opposite party, he should not take the case of another party in the same matter. Lawyer's duty towards the opponent. An advocate has some responsibility towards his opponent also. For example, he cannot communicate or negotiate with any party represented by an advocate except through that advocate upon the subject matter of conflict. So, if once a matter has reached the court, then it will be the responsibility of lawyer not to directly approach the opposite party and only approach the opposite party through his advocate. It should be the responsibility of lawyer to carry out all valid promises made to the opposite party. Lawyer's duty towards colleagues. An advocate has an obligation to colleagues that he will not solicit work or advertise either directly or indirectly. So probably it is not followed anywhere in the courts of India, but still it is the duty of advocate that he should not solicit his work. Therefore, you must have observed that often advocates, when they print their pamphlets, they only write their name and the area of the practice and contact details. They don't say anything else about themselves because it is not allowed in the Bar Council of India rules. You cannot solicit for work. He shall not be, solicit means advertise. He shall not be allowed to use his name or aid or professional service. When a client can pay the fee, then he will not accept a fee. It should be less. I've written the spelling is wrong. He should not accept a fee less than taxable under the rules. Not enter in the appearance of any case in which there is already a memo filed by an advocate except with his consent or party's consent. So once one advocate has taken the case, then the another advocate should not appear for that in that case until and unless the first advocate gives his consent to the second advocate for appearing in that case. Punishment for professional misconduct. As per Section 35 of the Advocates Act 1961, if there is a person found guilty of professional misconduct, then the case will be referred to a disciplinary committee. Then they will fix a date of hearing and issue a notice to the advocate. Then the disciplinary committee of the State Bar Council will hear both the parties and court may decide to dismiss the complaint, warning to the advocate, suspend the advocate from practice for a certain period of time, remove the name of the advocate from the state roll of advocates. This is the severe step which the disciplinary committee can take. Against the order of disciplinary committee, you can directly approach to the Supreme Court of India. The appellate authority can be directly Supreme Court of India. Thank you.